Here with Texans President Mike Tomon. Mike, great to see you. Your reaction to being here at the NFL annual meeting?
Oh, it's been a great couple days. Great setting as we can see here. But I've been really looking forward to sitting with you. So it's like kind of peak on peak on peak.
Yeah, here we go. Well, you've been in a number of the meetings. Can you tell the audience what it's like to be here for you and what you're looking out for, what you're hearing, what you're taking away?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the great things is the community, the NFL community. I think there's such an aligned interest on the health of the game, the fan experience and the fan engagement. I mean, that's common between all 32 teams. And so it's great to be together when there's such a common interest overall. My biggest takeaways is the future's exciting.
Yeah.
Certainly the Texans' position in the league and how we're aligned on some of the major initiatives. Flag football, girls flag, our international game, and our ability to continue to expand our base. And really just thinking about the health of the game and how we can make this sport even more accessible to our Texans fans.
The league announced even more countries where teams can market themselves, and these are designated certain teams in certain areas. How important is that global growth for the NFL, not just domestically?
Extremely. I think when you think about the power of the league and how it's grown, one of the things you have to be responsible for is how will it continue to grow? And so as you look at ways that it can grow, certainly international is a huge part of that. And that's really important for us. When we think about Houstonians, one of the greatest things that we have is the fact that we have such a special city that has a special place on the global scene. And so again, the alignment of where the league's going and what it means for us from a Houston Texans standpoint is one of the things that I'm walking away extremely excited about.
Well, last time we got together, you talked about Houston being a city of diversity, international city, and I know you want to play into that even more. Can you discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll see a continued amount of focus on how we proliferate the games across globally, making sure there's more games globally, but more of a drill down onto how can we make it easier for people to get to know and love this game from an international standpoint. So some of it's education, some of it's access, but a really more thoughtful approach on it. And that's huge for us. When you think about Houston, where we play internationally, as we've talked about, and you think about the Texans and what we know about the Texans and how we know people will love that, to be able to sit there and say, okay, there's a strategy, there's a plan to bring that to the rest of the world is pretty exciting.
So fans are starting to hear so much more about flag football. You mentioned it, girls flag football. The Texans so heavily involved in getting this to be a sanctioned sport in the state of Texas. Why is that important? Can you tell the audience about that?
Yeah, I think when you think about how you can bring the sport to as many people as possible, flag football is one of the great places because you have so many people who love the game or so many people who would benefit from all the great characteristics that the game builds. How do you get them access? Think about flag football. Like you and I were just talking about the grass here. Yeah. All we need is a ball. Right. Omar could ref, and we could get going. But I mean that in a very sincere way, which is there's not a ton of barriers to flag. It's accessible to so many people at such a young age, and you can learn some of the real basics of the game and grow it from there and grow your love from there. And that's why we're so excited, is here's a great way to bring it to the youth. Here's a great way we can bring it to the state and beyond, to stay close to the game, to learn all the best things about the game and get closer to the Texans. And that's exciting for us.
Now you've coached it, right?
I have.
Some flag football.
I have.
All right, so what's your favorite play to call? Do you have anything special for us?
Well, I can't tell that because I haven't retired officially.
You haven't shared it with D'Amico Ryans yet or anything?
Well, I have thoughts for D'Amico. He knows that. I'm just kind of waiting for the right moment.
Yeah. So we're all waiting. I'm still waiting for that moment. I think he knows what he's doing. Everything's okay.
Yeah, it seems like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, we are like, when I get excited about our business and our game, a lot of it has to do with Coach, certainly Nick, the whole team, on how they think about it. That is one of the most exciting things. And the great thing is the buzz that is here when we're together as a league with them.
Well, I've noticed more players than ever working out in the off season prior to off season conditioning actually starting. They're just packing that cafeteria and they're in the weight room, they're doing whatever they can to get ready for the season. But I've also noticed, so that culture really flourishing. I've also noticed you making a difference in the culture on the other side of the building and uniting everything, and there's a notable buzz to it all.
Well, thanks for saying that. You know, we're pretty fortunate. One of the things is we have a great football culture. And the football, the business, that's the organization. And so having one authentic culture of being together and being excited, swarming to the ball, those are easy things, I think, for people to gravitate to. So it's been really fun kind of making sure that we're all aligned on those pieces.
All right, since we last got together, a lot of people are talking about things you said regarding stadium issues, improvements, things like that. I know not a lot of time has passed since then, but what can you tell us about how you not only get started, but keep it going, keep some momentum going, or get it going?
Well, there's a ton of momentum on the stadium. I think that's great. You know, that's already happening. Yeah. You know, we're every day we speak, we're one less day away from our lease expiring. And so the momentum's there. I think the great thing that I've realized is that there's a ton of excitement there. And there's a ton of excitement across the board. I mean, from our parties, from our partners at the Tri-Party, certainly having time to spend with all the key stakeholders and more stakeholders to go. But the common theme is excitement. So there's a ton of momentum, Marc.
All right, draft party is coming up. And I know that's got to be crazy stuff with Avenida being the site, presented by Modelo. I know you're excited to see that, to see all the fans in one place. And it's not game day, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think anytime that we can be with our fans on an exciting, relevant moment, that's a great day. And it's important for us to be accessible. So when we think about Avenidas, as you said, sponsored by Modelo, our great partners, that's one of those places. It's an easy place to get to. It's a way that we can all get together, and draft's always a fun time. You know, you get to talk about team direction, and you get to witness live events. So I couldn't think of a better place than to be with all of our fans.
All right, so how has it been for you adjusting to Houston so far? Hasn't been that long, and I know you know the city, but now you're really part of the city.
It's been fantastic. I mean, maybe one of the easiest things I've ever had to do. It is such a warm culture, warm city, best fans. It is, like I said, it has been such a great thing to go through and such an easy thing to do.
I know the rodeo's a big partner of the Texans, so what was it like for you to sort of experience that from the inside? You're inside the building while the rodeo's going.
Yeah. Like I was telling people, it's not my first rodeo. It was my first Houston rodeo. Yeah. And it's pretty special. You know, I think just the size and the scope and the quality, it is a great atmosphere, and was really excited to be a part of it.
All right, one more for you. As you embark in the early stages of your presidency of the Houston Texans, I know you have long-range plans. And this is good for anybody who has a business or leads anybody. How do you go about 5-year plan, 2 years, 1 year? How do you go about that in the culture of the Houston Texans?
Well, I think you always think about the basis, because you need a strong foundation. You need to have a vision on where you're going. I think the McNairs have done a great job laying that out, so we have a great feel and a great vision. For me, it's about the basis, and the basis is making sure we're aligned. We were just talking about football, the business side, making sure everything's aligned in our look and our feel. We're authentic to football, and making sure we're aligned as a business. And so, as you know, Marc, we've spent a lot of time in the beginning talking about alignment. We have great people, making sure everyone is aligned with the vision and everyone knows how they contribute.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Marc.